But okay, say hi to YouTube. So we'll be on YouTube at some point. And actually a couple months ago, well, a few months ago, we were sent this thread. This one right here, actually, it was called "In Defense of Brahma." But as I was reading it, it said, as a follow up to their defense of Visnu. This is by the user believe you dash me. They did this 2 months ago. So wait, no, wait, hold on. I guess like only could have been 2 months ago. Then never mind. So it was a couple months ago. Anywho, yeah. So we're gonna read it, go through it, see what we think, and give our thoughts and opinions. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready, chatters? Let's get it. Let's see what they have to say. So in defense of Visnu, I know that a lot of people really dislike Visnu, but I feel like people give him too much of a bad rep. I'll bet with good reasons, but I want to offer a devil's advocate for what Vishnu does more specifically with his treatment of Yaksha's death. So Yaksha's death specifically. All right. First of all, actually just before I move on, like I've been highly critical and distrusting of Vishnu. I don't know if you exactly share the same sentiments. And I don't know if people in the chat are on that side where I've always attested that like I don't think Kali is necessarily a great person, but I do think that a lot of the stuff said about her is just untrue. Like one of those things because she is a bad person, so to speak, all of the negative commentary on her will quote unquote stick because it's like whatever, she's a chaos merchant. Whereas I don't necessarily believe that all of the other ones are these virtuous paragons of what is right and wrong, you know? What do you I don't know, where are you on that?
I don't have faith in. I mean, I've never shown love for really any of them. I do like speak to Vishnu, but like it's just like but I don't have like any love or like trust in any single one of them. Probably the most honest and straightforward, and arguably most trustworthy is Shiva because I feel like he's like pretty like wears his heart on his sleeve. He just doesn't give a shit about anything. But like
Mm.
by the nature that he doesn't care about shit and destroys a bunch of stuff, like he's also as bad as the others.
But at least I guess you could say it's like the whole like was it the Sagara Gandhavra argument where it may not be nice or pretty, but at least they are who they are. They don't try to hide it or
Yes.
masquerade it behind. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Devil's advocation, heretic, burns bleach. First of all, I think people are looking at Vishnu's role as protector of the universe because he's initially introduced as such and might unintentionally be judging him as that. I'm not doing that. Are you? I don't even remember him being named that, so I wasn't thinking that deeply
Uh,
about it.
I don't. I think this person has to be careful because I don't know if that's an actual thing that like the narrator. You know, like sometimes the narrator says what you can say, the author's saying that, or if just certain individuals are like Vishnu's the protector,
Mhm.
and that's like word of mouth from other people, which is by nature biased and not true.
Okay, I hear you. We'll see. Um, protected because he was first introduced as that, and my answer to be judging that. But it's more fitting to think of his role as conservationist of the universe, where he does his absolute best to keep the ecosystem that is the universe going as long as possible, with humans as the most important part of the ecosystem because of their souls. Hmm. So his job is to preserve the ecosystem, the environment. Mm. You see, I
I
guess
would
like
agree with that.
yeah, I don't disagree with it. I think the I guess the pushback that I would have is like it's like could you not make that case for all of them in some way, shape, or form? Like
I, I
the methodology might be different, but and the personalities are different, but it's still in service of prolonging the universe for as long as it can go. Maybe some of them don't care about the status quo of it changing that much, but okay. I mean, what do you think though?
I say Brahma, yeah. Shiva's weird because he's like in the camp, but it's just kind of as you said, like I don't know like how much like he would care about the specifics or the numbers of it. It's kind of
Mm.
like, oh, is this gonna work? No, like he's really quick. He's a type. He's like, okay, this save file is dead. I'm just gonna stop. He's a quick quitter. So like,
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
about him, but
Because even with Cali, right? Because well, 'cause I would argue most people would say, well, what about Callie? She's there to sow dissension and despair and chaos and all disorder and all that. And I'm like, order and chaos are a yin and yang. You can't have one without the other. You can't have life without death. You can't have happiness without sadness. So I think that it's a necessary part of like the balance of light and dark. So regardless of how you may feel about her, I think she's necessary for the universe to work the way it's intended. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying though?
I hear you, but this is what I'd be curious about, and I guess this would be how you've seen Callie. I took there to me. There seems to be there was at some point some switch or change in I guess what she wanted to do or her desires or her relationships with the other primevals.
Hmm.
Like when she was talking to like she mentioned like the concept of love, which to me always brings me back to thinking like, she once had like some form of lover and something went bad. It's Kubera, so of course it probably did. But I don't. I think she probably had a more active, positive chaos role, which is sounds kind of contradictory. But like
Hmm.
like in the Dragon Ball Z, Beerus's destruction, but Beerus isn't like evil destruction. He's like pretty like orderly about how he goes about destroying. I mean, he kind of doesn't give like fuck all
Yeah.
sometimes, but
I
like
like yeah, like I get what you mean, but I don't know if he's the best example because
yeah, he might not have
he
done
will
it.
destroy your entire planet if you feed him some mid ass
Yeah,
meal, so he's kind of
sure.
petty.
That's true. That's true.
He's kind
But
of
you get
petty.
what I'm saying. Like I think she had
It's
like
it's it's like
a
it's kind of like
process to it.
Galactus's role because the cosmic balance of the Marvel universe requires people that destroy and people that create, and Galactus
Yeah,
isn't necessarily like straight up evil. I want to eat the planet, and yeah, it's like I will die if I don't consume. You get what I'm saying? Yeah,
very
he will
true.
literally die. So
Yeah,
he got to do it. But I get
yeah,
your
like
point where it's like at some point maybe now she's literally just doing it to mess with them where before it like every single action of chaos and disorder she had a single purpose, like a real intention.
yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
Like her chaos before might have been like we're gonna sow some level of like discontent and like harm, but the universe would still be fine. But now it's gone to the point like no, I just actually want to destroy the universe.
Okay, I think
So
that's a fair
something along
argument.
those lines.
I think that's a fair argument. I I I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I still think the result is the same in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
Where like it's still the dark side of the universe that has to exist no matter what. And
Yeah,
maybe it all starts and ends with her, but we'll see. Okay, because of their soul. Secondly, while I do share with a lot of people the idea that Yaksha could have been spared while making sure Rand's existence is guaranteed, a big issue comes up in the form of Kali. Yes, Vishnu could devote a great deal of his time trying to protect Yaksha, but then Kali would make problems in other areas of the universe, as shown with Manaka's situation. Should Vishnu just focus on the issue of Yaksha's dependence on Rand's existence and protect him, or get rid of him, making sure that Kali could not create the exact same situation with Manaka, only this time with Yaksha obscenely powerful, with Yaksha an obscenely powerful Nastica king? Imagine, if you will, Yuta with Manaka and Yaksha with his parents' protectors, who was going to stop them. Hmm.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm gonna reread it. Hold on. Secondly, well, I do share with a lot of people the idea that Yaksha could have been spared while making sure Rand's existence is guaranteed. A big issue comes up in the form of Cali. So this part I get. He's saying if he maybe focused too hard on the Yaksha stuff, she would have messed with some other part where he's not paying attention. Do we agree with this?
Yeah, but I guess I'm confused on the concept. Like, was this like something widely spoken about that people think this thing to save Daksha?
That,
It's
like,
honestly
like,
never come across my
wait,
mind.
wait. Are you so? First of all, you're blah 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 roboting. Are you saying that it was
I'm sorry.
it's like I guess at what point was it Vishnu's job to save him? I guess is my
Yeah,
question.
I didn't know people thought that Vishnu should have saved Daksha. I never knew that was an argument people made.
Hmm.
Truly,
Okay. All right.
never thought about that honestly.
Yeah, neither have I. So should Vishnu just focus on the issue of Yaksha's dependence on Rand's existence and protect him, or get rid of him, making sure that Kali couldn't create the exact same with Monaco? The Yaksha's is much more powerful. So okay, I mean, I don't necessarily. I guess it's not my viewpoint necessarily. I guess part of the issue here is maybe my baseline thinking of Vishnu's role is not in tandem with the kind of argument being made here, but let's keep going. And if someone with the help of Anatta, Vishnu manages to get Yaksha to meet with Rand, what happens after Rand dies? Does Yaksha still have a reason to live? Is Rand even guaranteed entry to paradise? Or is Rand damned to hell with Yaksha, ending up like Taksaka or other Nastikas where they are enraged at all the universe, thereby also leading up to the universe's end? Remember, Yama has a strict rule as it relates to punishment or rewards of souls. Odds are likely that Rand would end up in hell just from the killing of Lisa's entire family village, with no telling what other sins he'll heap up from protecting his family using Yaksha's heart. Hmm.
Okay,
Hold on.
I don't know if I'm dumb, but where does this come from?
It's one of those things where like I wonder if being an outsider of the community is it maybe is making us not understand. Like certain communities just have certain things they
Yeah,
just tend to believe and it's just like not really questioned, like like super questioned. Like I'm wondering if we're in a situation like that right now. I don't know.
I do think I'm not equipped to hang. When did when was like what was the time when this was? Good thing about like I guess which tap was this supposed to be around?
I don't remember because I think I want to say it's around the time maybe with the losers of the universe and maybe Jabril and
Oh, okay,
Lila.
close.
It seems to me like this around that part because it looked like maybe Calavinka and or Ram might have been the one that destroyed the village or whatever. So I'm guessing that was the theory here, inclination, because he did say that he wanted to make a defense for Visnu in relation to Ran and Yaksha, which is interesting specifically. But I mean,
Yes, Vishnu.
I gotta reread this part. And if somehow with the weapon not to first team managed to get Yaksha to meet with Rand, what happens after Rand dies? So basically saying, well, you actually have to. It's crazy because the last chapter kind of answers this question, but I'll leave that out for now.
Yeah.
Is Rand? Yeah, yeah. Damn. Like, damn. You see, this is why I gotta do these. I gotta do these more timely. All right, let's keep going though. Fuck it. Finally, how exactly is Vishnu supposed to convince Yaksha to live when even Ananta's closest friend and practically the one who most cared about his well-being cannot convince Yaksha of a life after Rand's death when he spent billions of years with him? Ananta no doubt tried every trick and tactic to get Yaksha, it's actually not wrong, to have even more reason to live, but he ended up with nothing but Rand to hold on to. After Rand dies, so does Yaksha, or at the very least, the universe could end and Yaksha wouldn't care, and he'd practically welcome it, implied with the end to his side story. Actually, now I'm wondering if this person might have just been one of those people who are just ahead in general. I'm not sure. So Vishnu decides to give Yaksha an out while making sure that his reason for lasting as long as he did is guaranteed to happen. Unfortunately, Ananta couldn't bear it, but at least he doesn't have to because Vishnu already prepared an out for Ananta as well with Lise and Maruna. No doubt if they can't bear it, Vishnu would find someone else to pass his position again for as long as there are souls who live in this universe. Hold on, 2 months ago was probably beginning of the side storage for the scans closer. Okay, thank you. Ah, I mean, ultimately,
Okay.
I don't like much agree with a lot that's being said here, but I think it's not even like I'm not even trying to like go at this person or individual. I'm not even really mad at this post. I'm really not. It's very like I'm very indifferent towards it, but probably my baseline like starting position is completely different, so I'm just not seeing things the same way. And if this is somebody who's super ingrained in the community, it could be one of those things where I'm on the outside looking in, so I'm not getting some of the generally accepted, I guess, Kubera opinions about this character.
Wait, can you back up to the topic real quick?
Read what?
Can you back to the top of the page real
Okay,
quick?
you gotta, your mic is still like, you wanna like, leave and come back real quick and just, I don't know, turn on LTE or something. I don't know. I can't even understand it. Hello?
Uh,
It's not. I
is it
wonder if it's
better?
me. I wonder if it's me. It could be me. It's possible if it's me.
When I left, I low key still it echoes.
I'm leaving and coming back in chat. One sec. Nah, I feel like that was me. Because my Discord did not put me back in the chat, and I clicked it again. It gotta be me. That's very strange. Let me close Discord and reopen it. That's crazy. Can't rejoin. Hello? There you go. Hello? It's taking long to connect. So it is me. I think it's me. It's not him. Jesus Christ, what's going on? I might have to stop using Discord and find something else that's more reliable.
Yeah.
Okay, hello?
Yeah.
I think it's me. Like, anyway, see what you're saying.
Okay, I guess that part. So I guess I didn't see like his first underneath the title. So I guess he like because I first thought like those general Disney things, which I guess was, but he was trying to use his situation of handling Yasha to
So
argue for
so he's trying to use
that.
him in the actress position to defend him,
Yeah,
right?
I,
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah. Yeah, that's yeah,
I don't.
that's how it started, yeah.
I think this is just a bad start. Like I like I don't know why that would make. I maybe not reread this again. But I don't
Hold on,
often
hold on,
like.
hold on, hold on, hold on. This is it's hold on. We gotta we gotta figure something out because this is not gonna work. Cause I can't understand. That's there we go. All right, yeah, this definitely was me. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I pulled it up myself and I'm looking at it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things. I think the argument kind of just is hurting its own self because like I feel like this is like one of like the worst like options to pick to like defend Vishnu as a character.
Mhm.
Because I feel
Like
like this is
like
one of those.
like it's not a general defense. Like he tried to use like a specific example of something to like explain it. And I don't think that was the best route to go. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, because when I'm looking at the paragraph, okay, if you go to the paragraph where it starts off with secondly, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And he uses the argument, yeah, well, if he helped Yaksha, was to stop Callie from doing something in a different area in the same vein as they did with Manaka, well, then we have to get into an actual like cost benefit like scale. And I don't know if you could ever make the argument by his definition of anything being worse than saving Yaksha because Yaksha would be the strongest Gnostica king on the side of the good guys.
mhm.
So no matter which other Gnostica you, I guess, turn evil, I don't think it would ever equate to the same
Yeah,
thing. Yeah. And,
yeah,
I
I
don't
hear
even
you.
really agree with that statement as it is, but I'm just saying just from his like viewpoint or his
Mhm.
or her viewpoint. Like it's just like I don't know if that works.
Yeah. Because my general distrust from Vishnu comes. I mean, like honestly, I think this is a good narrative where a lot of characters, some of their underlying motivations are hard to discern. So like you could honestly call almost any character to some degree shady or like sus, as the kids say. But
Mm-hmm.
Vishnu to me, like it's like it's my conspiracy brain working where I'm like it's a psyop. they trying to they throw they throwing bad agendas and propaganda at Cali, and Vishnu was the machine. That's like that's how my brain is working. So I'm like, I don't. It's not even to say Callie is clean. Callie is righteous, and everything she does is great. But I'm like, nah, y'all doing too much. Like to the point where I'm sure you guys can do things and just pin it on Callie, and people wouldn't blink twice because of her role in the universe. You get what I'm saying? So like, so it's
Yeah.
like, so that's why I look at Vision like, I don't know. I don't think I trust him. I don't. But
No, I agree with this standpoint of like how do you like even if like you save Yaksha, how do you still give him the will to live and stuff like that? I think that's an actual fair argument. But
mhm,
we would know if he had the like after Rand dies, like how do you give him the will to live?
yeah,
I mean, he was willing to survive millions of years just to see his face again, and I think he has a strong understanding of like the lifespan of them, so you could argue he would live long after. Maybe also believing that maybe another person like Rand would come along
you never know
eventually.
what type of emotions or thoughts Rand could instill into him while alive that would actually
Yeah,
give him more attachment to life. Like you could argue it the other way. Like you could. I'm not saying
yeah.
it's right, but you could do it.
Now another fair argument, I guess, is that Yaksha would also be weakened by virtue when he is around Rand, like when that timeline is matched up. And if you want to make the argument then of like, was it worth doing this during the crucial time, because we assume everything is going to get solved, and the time when like Rand and all these guys are alive, to have a weakened Yaksha, maybe, maybe not. But we also don't know how much weaker Yaksha is because he got killed by Ashura, who's another Nastica king,
Yeah.
which is by virtue a top dog. So we don't know like how much weaker Yaksha is to say is it worth it or not. Like I feel like it's one of the things we don't know enough of.
Mhm.
So going
Corey,
back and forth is just kind of like
yeah. Corey said when talking about Vishnu, remember that flashback from Kali of someone telling her that the creatures of a dying universe see her as evil regardless of her regions. The same applies to Vishnu here. Regardless of his reasons, he's causing a lot of suffering to a lot of creatures. And by seeing and relating to that suffering, it's only natural that we dislike him. I think you're gonna go. I don't think you're going in that direction. By the way, with the way that paragraph started, but fair. I thought you were gonna say that maybe no matter what he does, they'll see him as virtuous.
that's what I
If
thought it was.
yeah, that's what I thought the argument was going. Like if everything, no matter what Kali does, she's seen as like chaos and bad or whatever. No matter what Vishnu does, it's seen as right and for the benefit of the universe. And then I
Corey said,
always
"Fuck that."
yeah I always think about what Kinara was saying to like I think it was Yama and Anata and whatnot when she took Erevatha's name, where it was like you guys should think about like length and I guess quantity, but you never think about quality. Like, is it better to live 1,000 years of suffering or mid, I don't know, or to live 200 meaningful, fulfilling years? Like, what's more important?
Hmm.
How do you guys weigh that? That's a question that always pops into my head when do you guys come and they speak about it? Especially like based on what we read in the last chapter about maybe you can get it to go further than this many years. I'm like, interesting. Like, you guys really do look at it almost in this very cold, analytical way. You know what I'm saying? So
Actually, now that I think about it, just there. But this is I'm not gonna say it because it would be spoilers. But I'm actually thinking there may be more things that this guy might be right about. Now that I
yeah,
just think about it, but it would be spoilerish. But I will say this like as a separate thing. Uh yeah, like I think there are like better arguments to like have. Like for me, like whenever I like talk about Vishnu, my biggest thing is always like we don't have sometimes enough proof to even argue some of the bad things that Vishnu has done is Vishnu. It
mhm,
could have been Kali pretending to be Vishnu. I feel like that would have been an easier argument to go off of like this he may not be that bad because of like he may have been impersonated. Or like even just using specific dialogue pieces with like characters that we like with like the Kalavinka stuff to see like, well, what how does this guy actually view things like universal relationships and what does that like mean? Like, what could we probably assume he's gonna do? You know, things like that. Rather than
yeah.
this, just seems like such an obscure, random choice.
I mean, maybe there's discourse around that. Like, why didn't Vishnu intervene? That's like the inclination that I'm getting, like without any
Yeah,
context. Like, if if Vishnu was a good guy, he would have saved Yaksha. Like, I don't know. That was thing going on. So Vishnu is obviously suspicious. The story itself makes that very clear, but it's a suspicion. It's a suspicion with many vague and mysterious elements. The argument between Chandra and Agni about Vishnu is pretty interesting about this. In another hand, Vishnu is one of the most fascinating, intriguing characters that I don't know how we don't like him. I do I not do I dislike Vishnu or just not trust him? I don't know.
I don't
Actually,
care about him.
can you can you like someone you don't trust? I think you can actually. I actually think I do. There's people I don't trust. I'm like I don't dislike them though. But I don't. I just it's funny because like for all you know, I come around on him because remember how I always thought the God of Earth Kubera was super shady, and then like
Yeah,
after that like one moment for the Nats, I was like I understand all his prior actions. I apologize. I'm rocking with him. Like
but I will say Kubert is a little bit different because at least we know from early on there was positive shit with him and Lee's.
yeah, true.
So we're like, so we could like try to like okay, he might be doing fucked up shit, but we know maybe in his heart of hearts he might come around, he might do something for Leaf. Vishnu, I don't know if we have like any like anchor character for us for him.
Mhm.
Like it
It's
should
yeah,
probably be Shuri, but we don't know Shuri well enough yet. Still,
oddly enough, yeah. And we learned a lot more about her. I meant that the people will see Kal as evil because of her actions, regardless of her reason and intentions. Her actions lead to death, destruction, and suffering for the creatures of the universe. Visnu is also causing suffering, even as reason for greater good. The creatures in the universe don't usually see it, but as readers, oh, dramatic! You talk about dramatic irony. I apologize. I got you. I'm caught up. My fault.
okay.
Because like we know because we can see it, but for other people, if Vishnu is doing stuff like that causing death and suffering, it's not put on the news, so to speak. But if Callie does, Callie at 8:30 p.m. chopped down a tree that a puppy was in and drowned in the river. So I
Dang, you
get it.
saying Callie's a black woman?
Hey yo, that's that's not what I said. All right, you want to move on to
Patreon
Brahma?
gang. Shout out to the Patreon gang. Yes, sir. Shout out to my certified BAM lovers. I appreciate y'all deeply. Gotta give a big shout out to the Priest of Fire. That's the real CBL brother gang. You already know what it is, but especially gonna give a huge thank you to my tier threes, the fifth Zen Gods. Shout out to Zodiac, Sonny Katapali, Simi, Silo, Shoddy to your body, Scobe, Revenant, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Chris, Johnny Rogers, Jacob Holland, Irene Sharda, Fitz, Tris, and my boy Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.